Hey folks, let's see if the hype lives up to the wait. We have been waiting for quite a while since the M4s dropped. Apple did release the M5 MacBook Pro around a couple months ago, but finally this week they've released the M5 Pro. I have been kind of late in doing this. I'm traveling a bit and I've been testing the MacBook Neo. But with that said, I want to make a quick video to just showcase kind of a mini review and some gaming performances. So I don't know if anyone else struggles with sweaty hands, but I showcased that this case has been around for about 6 years, hasn't changed. People complain about the keyboard also getting stains, but this is the $2,000 version that comes with the M5 Pro chip, 15 core, 18 core GPU. Basically, the model you could pick up in stores. If you go to the apple.com website and go to the configurator, they always show you what you could pick up. So, like I mentioned before, the M5 chip came out, I believe, back in October. And choosing the base model config of the M5 Pro, you can see up here, it could say pick up tomorrow. So, that's what I did. Even though I'm traveling, I picked it up. The one specific call out that I think was kind of not in the rumor mill was this idea of fusion architecture. So they had a press release where they had kind of announced all the products. And essentially, if you, or this is a theory, I suppose. I've seen some YouTube videos. I'm not a computer engineer, but back in the day when M1 Max came out and they announced M1 Ultra, they had this guy in the science lab with a blue colored shirt talking about all the cool things they were doing at Apple and why they get paid a lot to be engineers. Long story short, I wanted to borrow their animations to just showcase what people believe is how they run the M5 Pro and M5 Max using this architecture. Now, obviously, not combining two chips, but a similar method of fusing chips made together. Essentially, they produce the same CPU on the M5 Pro and M5 Max and then swap out a chiplet design for the GPUs. So a surprise to me was that Spider-Man 2 actually runs on this M5 Pro chip. I had previously tested the M5, the base model back in October, and there's a issue that was for MacBooks, which involved having a T-pose. Basically, none of the animations worked. I'm not exactly sure if this is because of the new M5 Pro having some new capabilities. I will say that if you browse over to our Mac Gaming, people have discussed this where apparently it's been fixed. But basically with the state of Macs, you get updates to crossover, which is how I'm running this game. Check out some videos that I have on tutorials. And then you obviously have Mac OS getting updated and the game getting updated. So a lot of levers to pull of why this might be working. So typically my recording methodology is using QuickTime recording to showcase the game of what I just showed there when I use multicam to capture audio and get direct screen recording. It's been the best method, in my opinion, compared to OBS, which is a recording and streaming software, to not have too much lag. Now this is just recorded off the iPhone camera, which I'm using. So what I'm showcasing on screen, if I hadn't shown earlier, is that this is a fully spec'd out settings with very high and ray tracing set to ultra. Basically what that means is these M5 chips have the capability to do ray tracing in crossovers, which then gets translated to Metal FX, or how it happens on screen. So we'll go ahead and turn those settings off so we can just see how the chip does without the ray tracing cores. I did think that that was pretty good performance. And there's also another thing that you could do is in crossovers, they allow for frame generation. A lot of gamers don't actually like when that's turned on. So in this particular video, I don't turn it on. I plan to make more content where I test frame gen on different settings, stuff of that nature. But for now, I just wanted to do kind of a semi decent or semi impressions on two video games, with Spider-Man 2 being the one that hasn't been playable before. So a quick spoiler of my Neo review is that the MacBook Neo has half the SSD speeds of the M1 MacBook Air. And what I was just showcasing is that these chips actually have 2x the speed of what was previously released. So going from 6 gigabytes of the MacBook Pro with the M5 base chip, now the M5 Pro and M5 Max actually have NVMe 2 or 5, sorry, which allows for double the speed of about 12 gigabytes per second. Now, MacBooks, if you followed my channel, I showcase gaming. I come from gaming laptops. I always say that, it appears they don't have shader cache, which gives you some input delay. I've never played Spider-Man 2. You're seeing this without QuickTime recording, and I think that these stutters actually are the shader caches coming in. I'm pretty sure it's not for dynamic effect of like pausing, when changing scenes. All that to say, um, because of the lack of shader cache and obviously an emulation layer and stuff of that nature, I think there will always be this little stutter effect that happens in Mac gamings, but it is welcomed improvement to have such fast SSD speeds, which should reduce the amount of stuttering that you'd see in games. And in particular, in October, I was really impressed with the M5 chip because it was able to seem good for the only game I play, which is Dota. But if you are trying to play other games, MacBooks could be good. Now, of course, you still have this issues that you might not run into Windows, or it might happen in Windows where you see here the game crashed. So one of the tried and true games that I've always tested on my channel, if I zoom in with the iPhone 17 Pro, I traded in my iPhone Air because you can't do as good zoom. But anyways, you can showcase that this game's going to be running at very high with DLSS set to balance. So what I mean by DLSS, if you haven't been following the channel, is crossovers allows a hook to play into the NVIDIA plugins for games and essentially translate it to Metal 4, Metal FX kind of features such as, I believe what they call it is scaling, and then there's also frame gen, which Metal FX, the chip calls frame interpolator. So what we're showcasing here is the QuickTime screen recording. So with screen recording on, we were getting about 70 frames per second. If you look on my channel, I'll make another video with kind of detailed analysis with my M1 Max. Actually, I'm traveling, so I don't have that machine right now with me at the moment, but I can refer back to my previous YouTube videos. Getting around 50 frames per second with some of the settings that you're seeing here. And now turning on frame gen, we're actually boosting that frames per second almost to 120, 130. So definitely hitting the full specs of the ProMotion, which is a nice improvement. So if you're coming from an M1 Max, you may want to consider this as a pretty good upgrade, specifically with the double SSD speeds should help with maybe if your workflow includes Photoshop. I've never done any of that testing because I'm actually not, I don't want to just do it for YouTube. I mean, I could, but I don't have domain there. I've just kind of stuck with games, which is kind of what I grew up with. So that's my quick impressions testing. Obviously, I think a lot of the YouTubers are focusing on the Apple MacBook Neo, which is what I did myself. But I spent some time downloading all the game setups while I was testing the MacBook Neo, and I just wanted to showcase a little of testing. I also made a post on our Mac Gaming if you want to check out. I did technically, test out Helldivers 2, Dark Tide, stuff of that nature. But I wanted to kind of get a video out on YouTube of just kind of initial review impressions and some gaming. Hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in some of the next videos. Take care.